Good morning and welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout where we invite you to play with your strength. We'll start with a warm-up, fingertips to the toes, and then in between, we're working on the core with Lauren on the floor. Until then, a little bit of space and maybe even clear some space against the wall. But let's get started with our toe squat series that takes us right down to the ground. Standing tall, feet in parallel, pull the feet behind you without moving, but to create room for those knee bends. Then push those hips forward, squeezing your glutes. Repeat that one more time as we pull ourselves down and maybe just shift some weight from one side to the other. Find the middle of that and then press on through. Balances of all kinds in today's practice, including those toe balances. So slowly get up and slowly bring it right back down. If you need that balance aid off to the side, feel free to touch or grab that, but go up just a little bit and then just a little bit more, remaining in control on that ascending or up phase. And on the down phase, ribs to hips, squeeze your butt, kneecaps straight. Then we'll go knees over toes again, and this time let's just peel up those heels, staying the same height, and then returning the heels back down. Let's do that also one more time. Find the balance, hug towards that middle line, and then heels down. But then one more time, let those heels come up, and this time we'll descend all the way down with or without those hands in our hip extension through, and a quick little wrist warm up with me again. Chip chop on those hips, pressing back, land fingers, calluses, and full hands, complete with that screw in that the blood donation faces forward. At the head neck, extend as to look forward, and then tuck the chin, and extend again. Patterns of two here as we go through the warm up. Extension looking forward, then the flexion looking down. From this position, about 5 or so, let's do our first knuckle push-up. Fingers and calluses stay heavy, palms leave the floor, and then we slowly return down, just like the heels and the standing warm-up. Repeat again. Modify as you need against the wall would make it easier. Stepping back into a modified or full push-up stance would make that harder.
Straighten your elbows.
Straighten the elbows.
That'll make it the hardest.
And then do one more and do it so much that you flick the floor away and push through. In this position, shake out those wrists, of course, but just push your hips through, but then build that centering moment where the rib cage connects to the hips, but the hips again stay forward. Let's hinge on the hips again, but this time turn the fingertips to the side, fingers, calluses, hands again. Nose will stay in the same place on the floor, but the ear might travel towards the shoulder as we do a side bend here. Repeat a side bend to the other side. Breathe through. When you're moving in this movement and anything with the head, think about moving the head, but the neck moves very, very little. It's a stability joint after all. Move the head, but not the neck. Now looking between those two hands, let's push one way and go the other. Very useful skill for that handstand class again. Pushing left, going right, pushing right, going left. And feel that tension before you move. Press, press, press like a hydraulic there. Then push through. Extend those hips, have a little bit of a shakeout, and one more quick wrist movement for me, and we're sending it off to Lauren. This time make fists, particularly the peace sign fists here, landing on the index and the middle knuckle there. Pack the shoulders, open the hands so that one of the hands are flush with the floor, and then round over the wrist or bend the wrist, keeping the armpit down to the hip and the elbow straight, and then find this tension by pushing down into the floor to bring it back to that stacked position. Then we'll repeat on the other side. Fingertips open, we gently flex over the wrist. That's again a flexibility drill. That strength drill is pushing the knuckleheads down into the ground, keeping the elbow straight and returning. We'll do that one more time, very slow and control. Again, against the wall would make this a little bit easier. Doing both at the same time would make that a little bit harder. Be careful. Rounding last time, pushing down, and then flick the floor away, and then toss it to Lauren and take it from here.
Oh, excellent. Let's do one quick little hamstring check-in, and then we'll flip over onto our back. Place those hands back down on the floor, opening up the hands nice and wide, tucking the toes underneath your toes, lifting your hips, knees just off the floor, and then gently lifting the hips or cow tipping the hips towards the ceiling, anterior tip, tailbone to the ceiling, however you'd like to say that. Then slowly lift the hips in the air. Let's prioritize our anterior tip there, and then gently maybe straighten one knee, and then bend and straighten the other knee, And just do that 2 more times on each side, lightly trying to lengthen and warm up those hamstrings. We'll be doing kick-ups today. We want to make sure they're nice and ready to take some load as well as to get long. Then we'll come back to that in a second. Come back to the knees, flip over onto your back, and we'll start in our hollow hold. We're going to work quickly through our hollow hold here in the progressions of it, as over the past 5 weeks we've progressed through it. So we'll go right into our big hollow hold here. If you need the regressions, either check back or keep things closer to the center of your body, and that'll make it easier. Right now that little mouse is in the house, so we're keeping it alive, but bringing our ribs to our hips. That mouse means our spine stayed the same when we're not pushing our low back into the floor. Then we'll lift both knees, we'll extend both legs out nice and straight, and then we'll take our arms and bring them towards our overhead. You can already hear I'm already starting to quiver in this position because I have lots of tension. My toes are pointed and nice and tight together. My kneecaps are pulled up, legs are tight and squeezed. My abs are braced, my butts are squeezed, and my elbows are nice and straight as I reach for the wall behind me. Maintain that core tension. If I came through the screen, I could roll you over like a log. In 3, 2, pull everything back in. Whew. Take a second off. We'll flip over and we'll go from that elephant shape to a plank a couple times here. In the plank, I'd like you to work on that wrist extension. That's a very important part of our handstand. So let's first start in our plank. Toes are tucked, hands are underneath shoulders. Pull yourself forward so your shoulders are trending towards over your fingertips. Next, as you push the floor forward, you'll send the hips up and you'll reach back to that down dog right now. Both feet are on the floor. We're lifting up our hips towards the ceiling, gently trying to push our heels down. We'll pull back through that plank. This time, if you'd like to add on, flick the floor away with a single leg, reach it up to the sky. As mentioned before, both hips are square to the floor, and then pull yourself back through. Hip, shoulder, wrist extension, Flick, lift, hips stay square. Try to straighten that knee that's reaching for the sky and the floor. Pull through. One more time each side. Push, flick. Hips are square. We're not opening up. If you open in your handstand, you'll never get to a handstand. Pull yourself back through. One last time. Breathe. Keep the elbows straight. Pull yourself through that wrist extension. Then bring your knees down. Whew. Take a second off. We're going to couple that back with our hollow hold.
Excellent.
So flip back over. And we're going to put real time on the clock here because my Mississippi's are not correct. So we will try for a full 30-second hollow hold. In 3, 2, ribs to hips, extended legs, arms overhead. Breathe. Our goal today is to progress our in-center handstands, which means we need this core tension. We need this core wake up. So breathe underneath that shield. Go through the checklist. Toes are pointed. Legs are tight together. Butt cheeks are squeezed. Reach the elbows long. You have 8 more seconds. Whew. I could pick you up into that handstand shape in 3, 2, everything to center. Whoa.
Whoa.
Hello.
Whoa is right.
That was funny. Hello. Okay, we have one more time into those all fours, quick core, and then we'll move on. This time I'd like to just try from our bear position today. So toes are tucked. Let's hover those knees off the floor. Hold. Without tipping or twisting, try to lift a hand off the floor. And then put it back down. And then lift the other hand off the floor and put it back down. And then lift a foot off the floor and put it back down. And a foot off the floor, put it back down. Either do it all again or try opposite hand and foot, no twisting, and place it back down. Opposite hand and foot. Try to keep your knees the same distance from the floor the whole time. Whew. Lift the hips. Walk yourself feet to hands, hands to feet, and then fold yourself back up using their muscles to stack on top of your hips. Ready?
Lauren touched on it on the floor there. If we're aiming to increase the endurance and the time spent in a handstand in the center, we need to refine the core strategy with the hollow hold and maybe examples of against the wall. But let's take a little bit of time off those hands, warm up those hips, and we'll be right back to some kick-ups in a second. Start in our little flamingo stance. That's an ankle to the standing leg foot. Then point, land toe ball heel. Pull ourselves forward and then push.
Oh, are we doing a movement clock?
And back. Little movement clock, sorry. Forgot to say that perhaps. Great example, movement clock, Lauren. Let's stick with that same leg and then move the leg towards the diagonal, 10 or 2. Point, toe ball heel. Feel that pull effort together and the push away for power. Repeating to that 9 or 3, to the side, point, land toe ball heel. Let's just pause here. Hike a hip, hike the other hip. Tuck a hip, tip a hip. Find that place for you and then push away. Repeating to that back corner, knee front, knee side. Turn the head, turn the torso, land in that back diagonal corner, and then push together. And now keep your knee stable, reach along the floor, land toe ball heel. Feel the front leg pull back, the back leg push forward, and then switch those vectors, knees together, and clear. Same thing other side. Knee front, point, toe ball heel, feel this pull energy, and then push to go the opposite direction. Knee front, diagonal turn, point, land toe ball heel, and push away for power. And again to the side, that 3 o'clock point. We'll spend a little bit more time here. And again, hike a hip, then hike the other hip. Find level. Then tuck under like cat, tip like cow, find a strong position for you, and then push to center. Knee front, knee side, then turn the head, turn the shoulders, find that new diagonal corner, and then push together. And lastly, to the back, toe ball heel. Feel this scissoring action in, and this pushing action away, and finish nice and tall. Right on, moving clock. Coming back to that in a second as well.
Now it's time to warm up by climbing the wall. So clear that space. Again, as in last week, I demonstrated if you don't have wall space behind you, you can use a ledge like this handy dandy windowsill or the edge of a couch to prop your feet up and try to get your hips towards over your head. If you have that wall, let's start with a 15-second climb. As you can see, we're facing the wall to try to maintain that hollow shape.
Maintaining that hollow shape, great cues, Lauren. And I know if I look behind me, the toes will be pointed. Of course they are. If you're on the wall, of course, that might be a little bit harder. But if you can, emphasize heavy tension in those hands. You only have 5 seconds more there, Lauren, and those beautiful toe points up top. Come down with control. We opt for that side cartwheel. I go, you go pattern. If you did it with Lauren, enjoy some rest.
All right, so 15 seconds here, finding yourself upside down. If you're not comfortable with this activity right now, you could be walking around the room like an elephant or a bear, just spending some time on that wrist, getting some wrist endurance. That's the most important part to our handstand as well as the core. For 3, 2, and then safe dismount.
Awesome. Little bit of a shakeout. It seems as if Lauren's going back there, and does your body and your wrists say that that's okay for you too? So 15 seconds again, put it on the clock, and again, doing these drills here to increase your endurance and your awareness while upside down.
A little longer.
3, 2, 1, and go. So again.
We did 30 last week.
30.
Yeah.
Doing 30 seconds, but challenge yourself accordingly as well. Lauren's working on that 30-second, and that means that there's about 15 seconds more to go. The hands are heavy and white. I can see them. They're pressing down very, very intensely into the floor. The hollow body shape is there, connecting those ribs to the hips.
Whoops, I came down.
And that was about 3 seconds early. That's pretty darn good. Same neighborhood. Let's do it again.
All right. So 30 seconds for Team Ian here, or up to, we should say. You can come down at any point in time during that time if you feel the need to get off those hands. But if you are there, hollow position, just as we practiced earlier, elbows ramrod straight, shoulders are elevated up into your ears, ribs are towards your hips, toes are pointed. Now think for the next 10 seconds about your grip and your fingers. You're not just driving the weight through that bent position of your wrist, but you're loading up all your fingers in your full hand for 3, 2, and then dismount.
See, 10 seconds in your head is a little bit quicker often than what the clock might say. Let's take some time off those hands and progress to one more version of that movement clock. This time, the leg that stays standing will be the bending one, and the other leg will reach out front. So follow my shape right here with a single leg out front, and then bring that back straight as you extend the hip through. Continue to reach on that diagonal to that 10 or 2 and pull through, and then out at the side. Spend a little bit more time here. Hike a hip, hike the other hip, find the middle, do a tuck, do a tip, find that position that's just right for you and come home. And then reach the leg, staying square forward, leg facing back. And on this one, you might lean a little bit forward here, and that's okay. And then push your hip through, come home. Same thing other side. It's that leg out front, knee that stays still, foot that stays still, does the knee bend. Then reach the diagonal and hold and push through. Just a little extra time here again. Hike a hip, depress the hip, tuck the hip, tip the hip, find that position and come home. And then the straight leg to the back corner. The kneecaps are straight, toes pointed, just like our handstand. And then lastly, to the back. And extend through. And shake. Should get a little bit kick up set going here, don't you think?
Kick up set. All right. Let's first start with that tripod entry. So we'll place our hands on the floor. We'll have one foot staggered forward and back. And we'll be starting with baby air. So just try to get that foot off the floor. Either sticking with one leg and changing partway through, or doing a little scissor kick to end up switching legs as you do this tripod kick up. As you progress this air and feel more comfortable, as we have over the past couple weeks, we'll be reaching that leg towards the ceiling. If you want to ensure that you don't fall over the wrong way,
like that.
Oh, that was purposeful. Keep the leg out behind you, creating that lovely L shape. If you're feeling more comfortable, you can get both legs up towards overhead and come down safely.
Shake it out. Take a second. Lauren's team will go in this I go, you go way again and set up. Lauren's shoulders, you can see that are already trending towards over the hands and that wrist extension. And those legs pointed straight, including the toes. Lauren's doing that scissor switch here, very elegant. And again, that allows us just a little bit more time in that free standing handstand there. Take your time, come on up, and just shake it out. That is Lauren's favorite way to do the handstand kick up. My favorite is the step in.
All right, that step in position. So it's the same thing here. We're just working on how much force we need to get our hips overhead. In the step in, we'll have our arms overhead, and you're creating that hollow body shape before you even step into your handstand. Then think about getting up and over something, landing on your hands. If you're attacking the floor at a 45-degree angle, you're never going to get your hips over your head. So think up, well, never say never, up and over to get stacked. Again, just figuring out how much force you need here. Always do a little bit less and just find that nice balance. We're trying to avoid the overkick. It might happen, so feel free to cartwheel out of that.
Cartwheels. So performance enhancing tips could include tucking in that shirt and pointing those toes, and as Lauren cued, setting up in that hollow body position. Taking time, and again, that's that scissor kick right away, but choose your stance, challenge yourself with your non-dominant or non-preferred leg. It makes the other side easier and adds a little bit more resilience to your practice. That's great for your brain gym as well. So a couple more, there we go, beautiful straight legs, and finish like you could do more. 5 or 6 reps is often enough. Give a little shake out, let your brain catch up to what you're trying to do with your body. Let's get a little bit of a lean-to lunge going on here. So let's start with our feet in our parallel position. We'll get those knees over the toes and take one single leg and reach it out front. And then do that push off, front with the front, back with the back. And now we're nice and tall. Let's go right back where we came from in that little sit squat again. Could you lift up that front leg? Then pull yourself through again. And this time try to finish pointing over that back toe. Then toe, ball, heel, pause with straight legs. Now, connect that rib cage to the hips, and Lauren's sideline profile there will show that the best. Get a little bit of a lean.
This back knee will bend.
Back knee will bend, and then push off the back leg. Again, try to finish over those toes nice and straight. Then toe, ball, heel. Let's get that sit squat one more time. And now connect your rib cage to the hips. Holy quad tension, holy ab tension. Avoid any discomfort in the back. Hold for a second, and then push off that back leg. Connect your knee, and then clear the foot. Nice job. Let's do that same thing the other side. Reach to the front, then push off the back, accept it on the front.
You did this first last time. You bent your front knee last time.
I did. I meant to. Oops.
Sometimes
But this
you
time,
forget.
let's just pull ourselves back into that squats position. Then push backwards to the back, forward with the front. And same thing, try to finish off of that back toe. Then toe, ball, heel, pause with straight legs. The back knee will bend as we lean back, but connect the rib cage to the hips and challenge that balance. Then push off the back and finish with a straight leg in the rear. The final one for this set is toe ball, heel, land with a straight leg. Then sit into your squat. And now from here, batten down the cage to those hips. Maintain your breath, squeeze your glutes, and brace, push off, connect a knee, and clear the foot. Shake it out. There's a comment there. What does it say?
It says, I'm having a great time.
Morning. Good morning. Welcome. Whether you're drinking your turmeric latte there or you're just stretching out those wrists, we hope that you enjoy your morning here. And handstands. We've worked on the crawl, we've worked on the core, we've worked on the wall stand, but now I think it's time to try things in center. We'll be working today in low and then high intervals, and maybe that's 1 second and 2 for you. In our case, Lauren will try a 5-second handstand, and then I'll go. The next time, we'll try to add a couple seconds to that. So again, Lauren will set up in her preferred entry, that tripod, and go for it. Nice. Might take a couple, so give yourself an opportunity to check in and check out those toe points. And there we go.
We'll just practice that next
Practice that. There we go.
All right, Ian's turn here. So in this 5-second interval of trying to hold that handstand upside down, what I did there was not get it, but what I did try to do and what I was thinking about was not over kicking. And in turn, that might not have helped me, but what I would suggest to you is if you're more at that 1 or 2 number second, to try to just avoid over kicking. So you're trying to just figure out how much you need to get yourself up there. I'm going to try to put those words into action.
Yeah. It starts right here, upstairs in the brain, and hopefully we can translate that tension down to the floor. So 5 and 4, looking pretty darn good. And if we give ourselves that adequate rest in between to shake it out, to refresh what we want to do, oftentimes the result happens like that.
So give that a second, shake it out, and then team Ian. Remember, you're either going with me and resting with Ian, but take some time off those wrists. So again, like I said, if you're practicing towards those couple seconds holds, really just try to work on how much force you're going to need, because that's the first place that gets you into the handstand, and that's the most important.
So that's 2 sets. Shake it out. We'll give a little bit of break off those legs and repeat.
Off those wrists.
Off those wrists and spend a little bit more time on those legs here. So let's start with our feet in that first position or similar. Then reach a toe point to the side, landing toe ball heel. Let's pull ourselves to one side right away. And again, in this position, where are the hips the best? Aim to be on the level position. Point through the toe and just perhaps lift. Maintain that turnout, kneecap straight, toe point. Land toe ball heel, pull yourself across, and then complement that with a push to the other side. Then, same thing. Maintain those hips level, and when we're lifting the leg, we're lifting it from the hip flexor group. Toe, ball, heel. Let's pull through, take the leg from the side, and just return it to the front. Hold a quick balance there. Then reach it to the side, but keep the hip forward. Toe ball heel, and just one last time on the other side. Feel the toe point. Maintain that turnout as you bring that all the way to the front. Then reach to the back side, but keep the hips forward. Land toe ball heel, pull to the middle. Then press up and finish tall. And shake it out.
Practicing those kick-ups again. This time, let's try to increase that upside down time. Again, that might be a 2 Mississippi to a 3 Mississippi, a 1 Mississippi to a 2 Mississippi, and we'll try to progress towards that 10 Mississippis. So team Ian, start your kick up here, and working up towards that 10 seconds. Again, create a goal in your head. If you're at the 1 Mississippi, and then come down. Working up towards the 10, or again, working on that kick up and just finding the right amount of kick up. Another drill you could do, sorry, I didn't count, I was talking. Another drill you could do if you're working on not over kicking is, this is the one time we'll let you face away from the wall and work on trying to kick up, but to not kick through the drywall behind you.
Don't touch the wall. It's hot.
Check that out.
Okay, 10 seconds or something again that represents just a little bit more. Even if it's in your imagination, if you say Mississippi quicker, that's okay too. So take your time, set it up just the way you like, and work on increasing your endurance, your core strength. Whew. Great looking line there, Lauren. Excellent. I'm not counting either, so looking pretty good. That's about 10 though, I'm pretty sure.
I know.
Ooh. And slow
I just
to
got
finish.
stuck there. There we go.
Love the slow to finish. Going slow down is very challenging, but it helps fill in the gaps and helps educate the body to what's really going on in between those places. Bodies feel good for one more?
Yep.
Okay, aiming for that 10-second again.
So one more time in that kick up again. Just working on 10 seconds here. So if
I should
in
do
that,
my other leg. I'm gonna try my other
you should
leg.
do your other leg. If in that time you do 10 kick ups because you're just spending time on those wrists, or you do 10 seconds worth of elephants, great. Just spend some time in that upside down position, working on it, but really practicing the shape that you want to be in. So try to avoid practicing being in that
Right,
shape.
hollow body shape, connecting the ribs to the hips. It's a butt squeeze, but it's not as much as we would do on our kettlebell swing. It's finding that right tension to support your time upside down. Lauren got on that first one. That's about 5 seconds right there. Couple more. Again, the things we can't see is how much Lauren's hands are working there to keep herself upright. Let's do it again. That means one more time on the legs first, and then 1 minute of craziness on your crawling handstanding pursuit to finish. Let's start in a squats position here, keeping those hips forward.
In a first position.
In a first position, a squats position. Then take a single leg to the front. You can keep it on the floor or just off, and then from the front, reach it to the side. From the side, reach it to the back. Try to maintain that turnout. And then straighten the standing leg in the front and return the foot to that first position underneath. Then we'll squat or plie again and straighten that same leg to the back this time first. Then turn out of that hip as you bring it from the back to the side to the front. Let's stand up nice and tall, and a little extra bonus here. Could you, in fact, lift that leg with pointed toes, squeeze your standing leg bum cheek, and then tap down and bring it back into that first position again. There will be a weight shift here as we sit, squat, plie to the other side this time. Transfer the weight and point the foot out front. Now keep that bent knee reaching to the wall behind as a straight leg reaches out to the other side. Maintain that turnout, reach a straight leg to the back, a full stretch of your standing leg, and then return the leg underneath. And the final repetition here is to the rear. Extension out the back. Straighten the knee. Like a key in a lock, turn inside that hip socket to the front. Pause out front, full stretch of the leg. Squeeze your standing leg bum cheek as you lift the front leg.
Pull your leg in.
And then toe tap, and then just return to that strong position and shake. Working on those balances and that core strength required for those will show up in your handstand, I promise. My hands have just about had it, but I'm ready for one more exercise. Lauren, what is it?
1 minute of craziness. So what we do is we put 1 minute on the clock, and you try to spend 1 minute on your hands in an upside down fashion. That could be a crawl. That could be a face the wall. That could be a full handstand, or practicing your kick-ups for the full minute. This endurance will help us increase our endurance in that upside down position. We're going to go in 5. Pick your move. 3, 2, ding, ding.
Oh, nice. 35 seconds. Keep going if you're going. That's good for me. Shake it out. Ooh, seeing a little bit of stars. So take your time as you
You
recover
still
here.
15 seconds left. Let's finish that out. 15 seconds.
15 seconds, okay.
You got to work on that endurance to get past that hold, even if it's just a couple kick ups.
Oh, geez.
One more.
Oh, geez. There we go.
There.
Right on.
A minute.
Awesome. Progress is non-linear, but that doesn't mean that your efforts today are unvaluable. Of course they are. The other day in that week 4 for Lauren, she had her personal best handstand of that 50 some odd seconds. Fantastic. It can't always be that way, but that consistency to your practice, like joining us every Saturday at 8 a.m. will help. So thank you very much for being here today.
And I was thinking, in between this time and the next time we see you, we do have our kettlebell and bar workout, but if you're really focused on your handstands, practice these skills throughout the week. Take a break from your desk and crawl around like an elephant. Throw a couple kick-ups in your daily routine, and it will really go a long way to help your handstand progression.
Groove it. So until next week, as Lauren said there, we'll be doing our bar class on a Thursday, but first we have our kettlebells on Tuesday. Visit our website, sign up for our newsletter, and receive links to live classes like this on YouTube. 3 classes, 30 minutes each, every week.
Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care.
Stay strong.
And we'll train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Oh.